What's up, goddesses? It's your girl, Yay Money, your manifestation and inner work coach, and I am back with another info-filled video. Today, we are talking about self-sabotage and how it's actually blocking your blessings, and we don't want that. This particular topic was hitting me kind of heavy, like real recently. So I felt like I had to share with you guys because we don't want anybody's blessings to be blocked. We don't want the self-sabotage to be getting us, to be getting our desires and our manifestations all caught up in a knot and blocked. We don't want any of that, right? So I really wanted to come on and talk to you about self-sabotage. And like, what is it and how is it actually blocking your manifestations? How is it blocking your desires? Hey, goddess, glad to see you on. Love it, love it, love it. So first of all, let's talk about what self-sabotage is. Self-sabotage is literally behaviors that are negatively impacting and interfering with a person's goals, their manifestations, their desires, their well-being, their relationship. It can take many different forms. And that's why it's so important to talk about, because self-sabotage, it pops up sneaky, okay? It pops up real sneaky. And then we sit back and we wonder why we haven't gotten the things that we've asked for. And it's because we've allowed self-sabotage to now manifest into bigger problems. And the behaviors that we are attributing to our own self-sabotage are different for everybody. But our particular behaviors now become habits. And it's like once you kind of get the ball rolling, it never stops rolling. Like, the first day that you stop going to the gym, you're like, I'm just going to go again. I'm going to pick it up tomorrow. Tomorrow turns into next week. Next week turns to next month. Next month turns to next year. It just snowballs because you self-sabotage yourself one time. And so what happened, right? So I really want to go deeper into this. Like, how does self-sabotage show up for you? Some common examples of self-sabotage would be procrastination. This is the big one. Like, I hear so many of my goddesses talking about procrastination and having trouble being consistent with putting in the action, putting in the work, showing discipline. They procrastinate on things that they want. Another example is negative self-talk. This is something that really hit home for me because if you know anything about my story, and I always say I was pregnant and afraid. And if you haven't heard about it, join my masterclass. It's coming up on Thursday. I talk a lot about my story there. Being pregnant and afraid, I had so much negative self-talk. Like, I talked down to myself so bad, you would have thought that I was my worst enemy. Like, looking back at things I was saying to myself, I was so hard. I was so tough. I was such a critic that there's no wonder why I was so upset. Like, it really isn't. So negative self-talk can keep you spiraling in that self-sabotage. It can keep you from the things that you're asking for. Another example is perfectionism. Trying so hard to make everything perfect that you never actually do the thing or you never finish the thing. They say artist's work is never done. Finding little things to keep changing and adding because you're really just too afraid to put it out there to really do the thing is blocking your manifestations. That's self-sabotage. It's like I said, it's sneaky, right? Like, these are things that we probably do on a daily basis and we don't even realize. Hey, goddess, glad to see you. The self-talk, the procrastination, the perfectionism. Ooh, another big one. Isolation. This one hit home for me because when, and I think it's the Cancer in me, y'all. I just had a birthday. So, like, the Cancer in me, my family always says, you want to go in your shell. You want to go hide for a little bit. When things go wrong, I want to just kind of put the covers over my head and be like, no, I'm going to deal with it. Just give me time. Let me pop my head back out. I ain't ready yet. Just not ready. I'll go in isolation. I will go sit in the dark room under the covers and kind of ride it out. Meanwhile, life is still happening. Things are still happening. Things need to get done. I'm still supposed to put in the work. I'm still supposed to show up and I'm not showing up. That's self-sabotage. It's pushing it away, for another time. It's kind of like a form of procrastination, except you're literally physically removing yourself. Or what about giving up? How many times have you started something and gave up on yourself because it just got too hard, or things weren't going your way, or things weren't unfolding in the way that you were hoping it would, or expecting it to, or wishing for it to happen, and so you just gave up and you just let that thing die? But it's something you really wanted at the time. You said, I'm just going to start the next thing. I'm just going to try again. Hey, guys, glad to see you. I love my lives, y'all. How many times have you just stopped doing what you're doing? Had a good reason, you rationalized it, but you never picked it back up. You just gave up on yourself. I'm guilty of that. I've done it plenty of times. I had plenty of reasons. I rationed out lies to myself about why things didn't get done, and then wondered why things never got done. Like, how am I going to wonder? Tell me how. And so the self-sabotage are these behaviors that we're taking on, but why? Like, why are we taking on? First off, I want to hear which ones you guys have. I talk about me. Is it the self-talk, that negative self-talk? Is that something that you're feeling right now? Is that self-sabotage getting you? The procrastination? The perfectionism? Which ones is really getting you guys? I want to see it in the comments. Leave me a comment telling me what form of self-sabotage you're facing right now. Maybe you're not even sure. You're just like, hey, I'm here because I know I need something. That's okay too. But when I decided to talk about this topic, like I said, it was hitting home for me because I found myself getting stuck. And when I say I found myself getting stuck, I mean I wasn't taking action. Like, I had a laundry list of things to do, and I kept sitting back. I kept waiting. I kept procrastinating. I would set my alarm but not get up on time. I would say I'm going to do the thing and never do it, even if it was something that needed to get done, and like wait until the last possible moment, and which was to be cramming at the last, like at the end. And this was with school, this was with my business, and I'm like, where is this coming from? Why am I doing this? And then I would start beating up on myself because I'm like, hey, yeah, you know what you got to do. Hey, yeah, you know what you're asking for, and you know what the level of work it requires. You know what you're working towards. Why are you stopping? Why? What is this? Like, what is this energy? Because I don't like this. This is icky. I don't like this. What's going on? And I mean, I felt this for like a good couple days. And I'm like, what is this? And so I had to sit down with myself and do some inner work. Like I said, you would never get done. You were never done doing inner work. Hey, goddess, I see you. Hey, shiny. You are never done doing inner work. As long as you live, there will be something else to uncover because you're always growing. And for me, I had to really dig deep and say, well, what is happening? And I realized that self-sabotage is actually stemming from fear of success. You see, we always hear about fear of failure, fear of poverty, fear of criticism. There are a few major fears. They take different forms in different people's lives, right? They take different forms. And see, I know what fear of poverty feels like. Scared to death. Again, in my story, I was pregnant and afraid. Like, seriously, just jump on my masterclass. I'd spend a good amount of time talking about it. If you ever want to know. Pregnant and afraid, not having any money, always in a cycle of poverty, always broke, always trying to make ends meet. I knew what that felt like. I knew what it felt like to have a fear of failure. to be afraid to start because I didn't want to fail. And I feel like a lot of people can relate to that. But this fear of success, this was something different. I was like, what is this? Why am I afraid to succeed? Like, what does that even mean? I'm asking for the thing. I obviously want the thing, right? Like, duh, like I want the thing. No, I was fighting with myself because I realized, at least for me, how it was showing up was I was starting to get more success. I was excelling. I am excelling in school. I'm finding more success in how I parent my daughter. And there's still some them days, y'all, they're like, but I'm finding my groove. I'm a little more confident in it. I'm finding some things that are working for me. I'm finding success in my relationship, being able to open up, being able to share, being able to do things that I really wasn't comfortable, wasn't able to really express and communicate. So these are good things, right? Things are happening. In my business, I'm finding more success. I'm showing up more online. Y'all, I had a fear of showing up online. That was a fear of mine. I had to do inner work around it. I was afraid to show up and be who I am authentically, partly because I didn't know who that was at the time, that was an issue. And two, I was having a fear of like criticism. What people say? What if nobody watched? What if nobody liked me? What if people had mean things to say? What if people were, blasting me in the comments, in the DMs? I was like, I don't know. I don't want to do this. Like, I got over that. It's like, okay, we're making strides. You got your group rolling. Something I've always wanted was a community of goddesses, of women to actually uplift each other and mean it when they say it, to actually give value. And so I'm watching all of these things unfold in my life, things that I asked for, things that I'm so internally grateful for. But as I'm climbing up the mountain and I'm getting to the peak, I stop. And I stop getting up at 5 a.m. Even though I know that's one of my few times during the day, like time blocks in which I don't have the baby and I can fully just work. I stopped planning my days out and just kind of going with the flow and just taking things as they come and being more reactive instead of proactive in my life, which caused me to wind up cramming at the end of the week because I had so much stuff backed up because I wasn't getting up on time and taking the time that I allotted to do work, or I was pushing stuff off. And so Sundays, the days that I wanted to relax and chill, I had to finish homework assignments and DM people and follow up on leads and get ready for math class. Like I had this pile of stuff to do that I did not want to do on Sunday. And around all of this, internally, the self-sabotage was also causing me to just be anxious. Because as I did less and less, and as I showed up less and less, it caused me to have more anxiety and stress around the things that need to get done. And so I'm experiencing all of this, and I'm like, okay, why am I afraid to show up now? Where is this fear of success coming from? Because I know I can't be the only one experiencing it. And when you look at celebrities and you look at, movie stars and really successful people who have made it, quote unquote, the ones who really make it and blow everybody else off the water are the ones who tend to be private, keep their lives private. But you see them having this level of success and attaining it because they have still kept themselves intact. Like they haven't fallen apart at the level of success that they've gotten. They're able to rise to the occasion, which makes them different from the people that you see who be strung out, stressed out, can't take it, in that rehab, like all of these things happening. You've seen the examples, you've seen the people in the magazines or on the news. It's because that success, they get to a level and they just can't handle it. You got everything you asked for. And then you realize it's just too much. And so you stop. And so you self-sabotage. And so you do things that negatively impacts what it is that you say you want. Because we all say we want to get to the next level. We all say we want more and more and more. But can you really handle it? Yeah, of course you can. Take some planning, take some work, take some growth. In the long run, you can handle it and have everything that you asked for because it's on your heart for a reason. You have this desire for a reason. We don't share the same vision. And the reason that we don't is because it wasn't made for me and mine wasn't made for you. Which lets me know that my vision is definitely attainable for me. I've already seen it. I have it for a reason. And so it's not that you can't get it. It's not that you're not ready, but you can't stop yourself to get there. You see, like I said, we know what the fear of failure looks like. That'll stop you before you get started. But this fear of success is just not being able to handle the pressure of things changing. So I'll share from my experience going through all of this. I was like, okay, you're getting more money. You're booking more clients. You are experiencing more people in your life. Like opportunities are opening up for you. These things are changing in my life. And when you really go for the thing, when you really start manifesting your desires, it's foolish to think that things are going to stay the same because they're not. When you're asking for more, you have to be ready for more to show up in your life. And they are beautiful blessings. But the change that's required not only from you, but from your environment, from the people in your life, there's change that's going to happen that you may not have expected or anticipated, and it's going to still happen. And so when I started to see myself self-sabotaging, I realized that, hey, I'm working harder, I'm working more hours, I'm also still up with the baby, I'm still working on school. I realized that in order to keep the level of success that I have to keep going. Even when I don't feel like it, even when there are days I want to take a break, I have to keep going. Because the minute that you stop is the minute that you stop the momentum. It's the minute you find yourself sliding backwards. It's the minute that you might give up, right? So I have to keep going. But then there's that sneaky thought coming in with self-sabotage saying, well, what am I doing this for? Right? Like, why am I even going through all this drama? Why am I putting myself through all this unnecessary stress? Like, why am I doing all this stuff when I could just be a stay home. I could just stay home, do nothing. That's an option. I could go get a job. Why am I still going through school? I don't need my degree. I just want it. Why be up at 9 o'clock at night on a Saturday studying accounting books when you could be in the room with your man, or you can be a date night, you know? And these are the thoughts that start sneaking in. And so when you start to listen to them, you start to pull back. But then you've got to realize that the thoughts that you're thinking, they're not real. That's the self-sabotage. Those thoughts that are coming in, that's the enemy. That's the enemy in your head. It's trying to keep you comfortable. See, our brain's job, its only job, is to keep us alive. It's to keep us safe. And so when we encounter new opportunities, new experiences, it's always evaluating, hey, is this situation gonna kill me? I don't know. We haven't done this yet. See, I know what I know what keeping you under the covers looks like. It feels like that feels safe. That feels warm. That feels cozy. But getting up at 5 a.m., do you really need to do that? It seems like you're gonna be more tired. Let's keep you under the covers. Let's just hit snooze. That's how your brain's operating. It's trying to keep you safe. Like it knows that this over here, this scarcity, this lack, this unfocusedness, this undisciplined you, we know what that feels like. That's comfortable. That's easy. See, we know what the triggers are. We know what the fears are. We know what you don't like. We know what gets you stressed. We know what all that feels like. That's home. But this abundance over there, this manifestations, these things that you're asking for, that seems like it might be a lot. That seems like it might be a little bit too much work. That seems like if I work too hard, it might just kill me. So we're not going to do that. That's your brain. That's what it's saying. It's saying, you know what? Nope. That's a little scary. I don't want to do that. No parts. Let me stay in this box. Let me do what I'm used to doing. Let me keep doing it because this keeps getting me the same result. And I can predict what's going to happen next. So you can predict your reality right now. You know exactly what's going to happen tomorrow and next week and next month because you're living in the same reality. But maybe the only way to change it, the only way to step into your abundance is to stop this self-sabotage, to let this all go, because there's no need to be afraid of success because you're getting exactly what you're asking for. Don't pull yourself out the race before you can get started. Don't let the fear of failure hold you back from starting, and don't let the fear of success stop you right before you get to the finish line. Because you deserve everything that you're asking for, goddess. Like everything. But you have to know that it's going to be uncomfortable to get there because it's requiring you to be a person that you are not right now. It is requiring you to change and shift from an identity that you are to the identity of the goddess, of the woman, of the being that has what you want, which means you have to go through some turbulence, some resistance, and some stuff in between to get there. But that identity, that's key. And not allowing the enemy in your head to get in your way. Because that's going to keep you exactly where you are. And so I have a couple tips on how you can make that shift, right? How you can get out of this self-sabotaging, icky, funky mood. Get out of the fear. Stop feeling the fear of success. Get out of the ego in your mind. Get out of the enemy in your head. And jump back to the present where you are making your manifestations come true. So the first thing is to remember why you're doing this. What is your why? What is your purpose? What is it that you're asking for? How is this going to make a difference in your life? What is the real reason why you get up every morning and you go do what you got to do? What is the real reason that you make the sacrifices that you make every day? Despite how you feel, where is this going to lead you to? Right? You have to know your why. Your why has to be bigger than any and everything that comes and gets thrown at your way. There are going to be a million reasons why you shouldn't do something. There's only one reason why you should. And you have to define that. And then once you get your why, hey goddess, you have to acknowledge why you were even self-sabotaging in the first place. And we said this affects everyone differently. It shows up in your life differently. So some of those examples were the perfectionism, the giving up on yourself, the procrastination is a big one, the negative self-talk, and just isolating yourself and pushing yourself away, keeping yourself more and more distant from the things that you want. Right? So acknowledge why you are self-sabotaging. What is it that you are actually afraid of? What are you afraid is going to happen if you continue to do the things that you're asking for? To get the manifestations? What are you afraid is going to change in your life? Because that's the real issue. So you know You know where you're at. And you know where you want to go. What you don't know is the level of change you're going to have to make, the level of sacrifice. So who are you afraid is not going to be there when you actually get what you want? Who are you afraid you're going to have to become? These are the questions you need to ask yourself, because these are the answers that are going to lead you to why you're actually self-sabotaging in the first place, so that you can stop it, so that you can let it go. This is the inner work that you have to do. And finally, guys, you've got to choose your divine path, because you can continue on the path that you're on. You can continue to self-sabotage, but you know, again, exactly what that's going to lead you to. So you can do that, or you can choose your divine path, and you can choose the path, even if you don't know exactly how it's going to turn out, the path that's going to at least move you in the next direction, the next step, to get what you want, to get the desires that you're asking for, because only you can make that decision. So I know I have said a lot. And I hope you guys have found value in this video, because I really felt like compelled to share this topic with you guys. This is so not the plan this week, but I said, you know what, I have to talk about it because self-sabotage has been hitting me heavy. And I say heavy in the past week or so. And I was like, oh my gosh, what's going on? We cannot have this. No, none of this. None of this. It's not productive. It's not helping. We deserve better. Goddess, you deserve better. Okay? So go ahead and drop in the comments your biggest takeaway from this video. I would love to hear what element, what version of self-sabotage have you been facing, have you been holding on to, that you are now ready to let go of? Drop it in the comments below. I definitely want to hear about it. And I also would love to see you guys at my Manifesting Abundance Masterclass this Thursday. It is also the Abundance Portal 888. You need to be there. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and drop a link in the comments below so you can go ahead and get that. And if you're watching the replay, go ahead and check the link in the description box below. I'm going to go ahead and post that for you as well so that you guys can join. All right, goddesses, I hope you have enjoyed this video. And if you have, please give it a big thumbs up. Okay? And don't forget to subscribe to my channel, because I am dedicated to making more videos to help you manifest everything that you desire this year. And until next time, keep shining like the goddess that you are. Bye.